Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great! Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Chapter 1. A Musical Family. The city of Los Angeles, California is famous for many things. Sunshine, movies, and music are just a few of them. It was in this busy city, on the 18th of December 2001, that a girl named Billie Eilish Pirate Baird O'Connell was born. Yes, that's a very long name, but Billie is a very special person. This is her story. Billie didn't grow up in a regular family. Her parents, Maggie Baird and Patrick O'Connell, are both creative people. They are actors, and they also love music. Maggie and Patrick are very talented. They like to sing and play different instruments. It was a house full of energy and good vibes. Because of her family, Billie was around music and the arts from the time she was very small. Billie also has an older brother named Phineas O'Connell. He is also a very important part of her life. Phineas is more than just a brother. He's also her best friend and her partner in music. They were very close and spent lots of time together. This meant that they also studied at home. Their parents decided to homeschool them. Homeschooling let them learn at their own speed and gave them time to be creative. This was important because both Billie and Phineas loved being creative and they found a lot of joy in making things. They would often play music together, write songs, and tell stories. It's like the whole house was one big, exciting playground where they could create anything they wanted. Their parents encouraged them to try new things and explore all their interests. They let their kids be who they were. That's a great thing. Billie was growing up in a world filled with music, stories, and art. She listened to all kinds of songs. She heard her parents singing. She heard Phineas playing guitar. She was surrounded by a soundtrack that fueled her imagination. It's no surprise that Billie started to show her own love for music. She loved to sing and she enjoyed making up her own words. She also liked to write down her feelings and her thoughts. She wrote stories and then she began to turn them into songs. She loved the feeling of creating something new. She would spend hours singing in her room, trying different melodies. She was still quite young, but she had a clear passion. Music was starting to become more than just a hobby for Billie. It was something she needed to do. It was a part of her. She found it easy to communicate her feelings through her voice and the songs she wrote. The family's home was like a special place. It was always filled with creativity, with music, and with love. This environment was perfect for Billie. It was the perfect place for her to discover who she was and to develop her love of music. It was also the place where her dreams began to take shape. Her family played a big part in everything she did. They provided her with the tools she needed to grow as an artist. It wasn't just about the music either. Billie learned about acting from her parents. She learned about being a good person and about telling stories. Her family showed her that it was important to be true to yourself. It was important to not be afraid to be different. These were important lessons that stayed with her. These lessons made her who she was going to be. Billie's journey was just beginning, but she had a wonderful support system in her family. Her family is a place she can always go to, like her own personal safe space. She was very lucky to have a great family. The foundation was ready, and Billie was ready to create her own story. This first chapter in Billie's life shows that family, love, and creative expression are really important. They create a wonderful path for growth and success. She grew up surrounded by the things she loved, and that's what made the difference for her. Chapter 2. Early Steps. Billie Eilish wasn't just born into a musical family, she was eager to make her own music. It wasn't enough to listen, she wanted to do. After her early childhood spent around music and creative people, she started to take her first real steps into the world of performing and creating. These early experiences were very important for her development and how her music sounds today. One of the biggest early steps was when Billie joined the Los Angeles Children's Chorus at the age of 8. This wasn't just some casual after-school activity. This choir was a place where young people, just like Billie, could really learn about singing. Being in the chorus was like being in a musical class. It helped her understand how her voice worked and how to control it. She learned to sing with others, to listen carefully to harmonies, and most importantly, she learned to perform. She stood on a stage for the first time not just as someone in the crowd, but as someone doing something. Imagine how exciting that must have felt. Billie wasn't just a good singer, she also learned how to perform and bring emotion to her singing, something that's so clear in her music today. The chorus helped her to develop her vocal abilities. It gave her a strong foundation that she could build on later. She learned different techniques, like how to breathe properly when she sang, and how to hit high and low notes. This was important because later, when she started making her own music, she had the skills to try all sorts of different things with her voice. She really became a skilled singer because of the time she spent at the chorus. But singing wasn't the only thing that interested Billie. She was a curious child. Like many young people, she wanted to try different things. She enjoyed exploring different creative activities. She loved to dance, and she took dance classes where she practiced different styles, like ballet and jazz. It helped her understand how to express herself through movement. This is why her stage performances are so engaging today. She didn't just sing, she moved and made the audience feel something. Acting was another thing she was interested in. She had that natural ability to perform and be expressive. Billie didn't just want to sing, she wanted to tell stories. She didn't just want to move. She wanted to communicate with her whole body. And even filmmaking. She found the whole process of creating stories on film to be exciting. All of these activities helped her with her creativity and understanding of how to tell stories. She loved creating little movies or mini-plays at home with her brother, Phineas, and friends. They used to dream big and invent new characters and situations. Her creative brain was working overtime, constantly thinking of new ideas. Perhaps the most exciting part of her early steps was when she began to write her own songs. She wasn't just singing other people's music anymore. She was taking her own thoughts, feelings, and stories and putting them into her music. Her brother Phineas was really important in helping her with this. He helped her learn about music production, which is how to put all the parts of a song together. She would experiment with sounds on the computer. She learned how to make her music sound exactly the way she wanted it to sound. This was the beginning of how she learned to create the unique sound that we hear in her music today. She started playing around with GarageBand, a music software program. It was like a toy box of sounds for her. With this program, she could record her voice and add instruments and effects. She discovered how to create cool beats and unique musical layers. This was very important because it meant she wasn't just writing songs, she was producing them as well. She had a vision for every single thing from beginning to end. She became a whole package deal and not just a singer. One of the early songs she created was for a dance class. The song was Ocean Eyes. She didn't know it at the time, but this little song created for a dance routine would soon change her life completely. In 2015, when she was just 13 years old, Billie recorded this song with Phineas, and it became very special. She was just getting started with her career, but Ocean Eyes would be the song that took her to the next level. It was just the beginning of a big adventure. She was ready, even if she didn't know it yet. She was taking steps, sometimes little steps, sometimes big ones, towards a future in music. She was still developing her style, but she was already showing the talent that would soon make her a star. She was a talented young person with a big voice and even bigger dreams, all just beginning to grow. Chapter 3: Ocean Eyes and Viral Success. The song Ocean Eyes wasn't actually written by Billie Eilish. It was a song her older brother Phineas had written for his own band. But something special happened when he gave it to Billie. It was like the song had been waiting for her voice all along. It fit her perfectly. Phineas and Billie had already spent a lot of time making music together. They worked at home, using their computers and basic equipment. They weren't in a fancy studio, it was more like a bedroom setup. But they made it work. They learned together and experimented with different sounds. Phineas had always been interested in making music, and it was something he shared with his younger sister. They supported each other and helped each other grow. When Phineas gave Ocean Eyes to Billie, they didn't think it would change their lives. They simply wanted to record the song. They worked together, with Phineas focusing on the music and Billie adding her vocals. They created something they were both very proud of. They then decided to upload it to SoundCloud in 2015. Billie was only 13 years old. SoundCloud is a website where people can share their music. It's like a giant online stage for anyone who wants to show off what they've been creating. It wasn't like they were trying to become famous. It was more of a way to share their music with family and friends. They put Ocean Eyes online without any big expectations. They just wanted to share their work with others. They didn't know what would happen next. They hoped some people would listen, maybe some friends, but nothing more than that. But something very interesting happened. It wasn't an instant explosion. Instead, Ocean Eyes started getting listened to more and more. People seemed to like the song. They started sharing it online with their friends. They shared on other social media sites, too. This sharing made the song spread to even more people. Like a wave going further and further out. It felt almost like magic. People were discovering it from all over. The song's popularity grew very, very quickly. It became a viral hit. Viral means something that spreads quickly and widely online, like a disease but in a good way. One minute, Billie and Phineas were just two siblings making music in their bedroom, and the next minute, Ocean Eyes was being heard by thousands of people from all over the world. It was a very strange thing for them to witness. This unexpected success drew the attention of people in the music industry. Music professionals, people who work for record labels, started to take notice. They had never heard a voice quite like Billie's before. There was something unique and special about her sound. It stood out from what other people were doing at that time. They loved the song and how well Billie sang it. Billie and Phineas were surprised by this interest, but they were also excited about the new opportunities. They started to get calls and emails from these music professionals. They got invited to meetings. It was all very new and a little overwhelming, but they were happy to see where it might lead. The attention was a sign that their hard work was paying off. In 2016, Billie signed a record deal with Darkroom, Interscope Records. This was a very big step for her. A record deal means that the record label will help her make and sell her music. They will also help her become more famous. It was a dream come true for Billie and Phineas. It was a big leap from recording songs at home to joining a major record label. They were about to start a new and exciting chapter in their musical journey. It was all because of that one song, Ocean Eyes. It was an example of how something can go from a personal project to becoming something truly special. It was also proof that it's important to share what you make with the world. You never know where it will lead. This was just the beginning of Billie's incredible journey. Chapter 4. Don't Smile at Me and Growing Fame. After the surprise success of Ocean Eyes, things changed very quickly for Billie Eilish. She wasn't just a regular teenager anymore. People started paying attention. This attention wasn't just online. Music industry people were now very interested in this young singer with the unique voice. It was all very exciting, and maybe a little bit scary, too. Billie had signed with a record label called Darkroom Interscope Records in 2016. This was a big deal. It meant she would have help making and sharing her music with the whole world. The label gave her resources like time in a studio and experienced people to work with. It was a big step up from recording in Phineas's bedroom. Remember, her brother, Phineas, was always there to help her. He's not just her brother, he's also her songwriting partner and producer. They work very well together, like a good team. He understands her unique style perfectly. In 2017, she released her first EP, that's like a small album, called Don't Smile at Me. This was a really important moment for Billie. An EP is like a sampler of what an artist can do, a little taste of their music. This EP was a collection of songs that showed the world who Billie Eilish was as an artist. It had some songs that she'd written, and some that she had worked on with Phineas. The name Don't Smile at Me is interesting, isn't it? It tells you a little bit about Billie's personality. She's not a typical pop star who always smiles. She has her own way of doing things. Don't Smile at Me was a huge success. It didn't just do okay, it did really well. In different countries, the EP reached the top 15 of the music charts. That means lots of people bought it and listened to it. This wasn't just a small thing. People all over the world were listening to Billie's music. That must have been an exciting time. The reviews of the EP were also very good. People liked the music, and the critics, people who write about music, said positive things. They said it was fresh and different. The songs on the EP were different from what other artists were doing at the time. They were a mix of pop with some electronic sounds and sometimes even a bit of hip-hop influence. Her music had a special style, something that made people stop and listen. Her voice, often breathy and a little bit quiet, was very unique. It wasn't a loud, shouty voice. It was more like a whisper that made you lean in to listen. The lyrics of her songs were also quite personal, often talking about feelings and experiences that teenagers could relate to. But it wasn't just her music that was attracting attention. Billie also had a very unique fashion sense. She often wore baggy clothes, which was different from the way other pop stars dressed. It made her stand out. She said she liked wearing baggy clothes to not be judged for her body. She wasn't trying to be like everyone else. She was being herself. People started paying attention to her style and trying to copy her look. That's a big sign of fame. Billie was also gaining a lot of fans. They called themselves avocados, and it was a really dedicated community. They loved her music, her style, and her message. They connected with her because she was being real and authentic. Her fans weren't just casual listeners, they were really invested in her career. They knew her songs by heart, they bought her merchandise, and they shared her music with their friends. They were a group of loyal supporters. All of this was happening very fast. From a young teenager recording songs in her bedroom, Billie Eilish was becoming a known name. The release of Don't Smile at Me was a big step on the way to the huge success that was to come. It showed everyone that she was a special artist with a unique vision. It also showed that the world was ready for something different. It was the beginning of something big for Billie, very big. This was her introduction to the world of pop music, and she was already showing everyone that she was not going to be a typical pop star. The world was watching, and everyone was curious to see what she would do next. The journey had just begun. Chapter 5. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? And Global Stardom. The year 2019 was a big one for Billie Eilish. It was the year her first full album came out. The album was called When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? It's a very long title, but people remember it. It was a very different album to what most pop music sounded like. It was dark, and sometimes a bit scary, but it was also really good. Lots of people liked it, and it made Billie super famous. Before this album, she was famous, but afterwards, she was on a different level of famous. The album came out in March, and it went straight to the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart in America. This chart is like a list of the most popular albums in the country. Being at #1 is a really big deal. It showed everyone that Billie was a really important artist. Not only did the album go to #1, but it did so very quickly. People wanted it right away. It was very exciting. It also went to #1 in many other countries, like the UK and Australia. It was a huge global hit. This meant people all around the world were listening to Billie's music. Critics, the people who write about music for newspapers and magazines, also liked the album a lot. They said it was very original and unique. They liked that it was different from other pop music. They also liked how Billie's voice sounded and the way she told stories in her songs. It wasn't a simple pop album, it was something else. Something very special and new. Many people were saying it was the best album of the year. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Had many famous songs on it. You probably know some of them. One of the biggest songs was called Bad Guy. This song had a strange but catchy beat, and Billie sings in a low voice. The music video for Bad Guy was also very popular. People loved its strange, colorful look. It was unlike anything else anyone had seen in music videos at that time. Bury a Friend was another big song. It was a bit darker and talked about scary things. When the Party's Over was also a big hit. It's a more emotional song about the end of a party, and maybe the end of something else too. These songs were everywhere, on the radio, on the internet, and on television. It was very difficult to not hear these songs. Because of this album, Billie became a global superstar. She was not just a musician anymore, she was a pop culture icon. This means people thought she was very cool and important. She started to appear on the covers of magazines all over the world. Her style was very special too, and people copied her clothes and hair. She wore big, loose clothes, usually in black or bright colors. Her hair was often green or black. It made her stand out from other singers. Billie was also very popular on social media. She had millions of followers on Instagram and other platforms. People liked seeing her posts, and she used her voice to talk about important things, like mental health. She was open about her own experiences. She wasn't afraid to show people her real self. This made her very relatable to young people around the world. She was seen as a role model to many. It was very impressive to see someone so young be such a positive influence to her fans. Billie also started doing lots of concerts. She toured the world, and the shows sold out very quickly. People loved going to her concerts because she was very energetic and interesting to watch. She wasn't like other singers, and this was a very exciting experience for fans. She was really different, and that's why people loved her so much. She was becoming more and more famous every day. She was very busy but was loving it all. Chapter 6. Awards and Accolades. Billie Eilish's music was becoming more and more popular. People all over the world were listening to her songs. They loved her unique style and her powerful lyrics. It was clear that she was not just a singer. She was a true artist. The music industry started to take notice in a big way. All her hard work was starting to pay off. It wasn't just about the number of streams or downloads. It was about the recognition she was receiving from the music world. In 2020, Billie had a night she would never forget. It was the Grammy Awards. This is one of the biggest nights for music. Every year, the Grammys celebrate the best musicians and songs from the past year. Billie was nominated for several awards. She was excited to be there, but she probably wasn't expecting what would happen next. The lights were shining, and the cameras were rolling. One by one, the awards were announced, and Billie's name was called again and again. It felt like a dream. She was winning in all the big categories, and not just one or two, she won 4. This was incredible. She won Album of the Year for When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? She won Record of the Year and Song of the Year for Bad Guy. And she also won Best New Artist, a very special award for someone starting their music career. This was a very special moment in Grammy history. Billie Eilish became the youngest artist ever to win all 4 of these big awards in one night. People were amazed. They said she was a sweep. It was a huge achievement. It proved that her music had touched many people. The whole world was talking about it. But the Grammy Awards weren't the only awards Billie won. She has won many other awards throughout her career. She received MTV Video Music Awards for her music videos. She took home American Music Awards. These awards come from fans all over America. She even won Brit Awards, which are the big awards in the United Kingdom. She was winning awards in many different places and in different categories. Besides the big award shows, Billie also received special recognition. In 2019, she was given 2 Guinness World Records. One was for her song Bad Guy, reaching the top of the charts in many countries. It was also for having the most streamed album by a female artist. These records prove how popular her music was across the globe. That made her the most popular female artist on the streaming platforms. The music industry was giving her praise for her talent. Billboard magazine, a very important magazine for music, named her Woman of the Year in 2019. This award is given to a woman who has had a big influence on the music business. It showed that her music and her voice were changing the industry. It was more than just the music, it was also her personality and how she was using her platform. This was a really big thing for her. All these awards and special recognitions are important. They show how much Billie has achieved. But more than that, they show how her music has touched people and helped many other young people to express themselves. She wasn't only a singer, she had become an icon for her generation. This period in her career was filled with huge wins and was a time of great celebration. These awards showed just how far she had come since releasing her music on SoundCloud just a few years before. In short, this part of Billie Eilish's story is about her success and the awards and accolades she has earned. From sweeping the Grammy Awards to receiving Guinness World Records, she has proven herself to be a force in the music industry. It was clear she was just getting started. Chapter 7. Happier Than Ever and Continued Success. After the amazing success of her first album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?, everyone was excited to hear what Billie Eilish would do next. She had won so many awards and become a really big star. In 2021, she released her second studio album, called Happier Than Ever. This was a very important moment in her career. People were waiting to see if she could continue to be so popular and if she would change her music. Happier Than Ever showed a new side to Billie. The songs were still very personal, but they also explored some different ideas. The album is very popular around the world. It showed that Billie wasn't afraid to try new things and that she could grow as an artist. It was clear she was not just going to copy what she had done before. The lyrics were about different topics, such as her personal experiences and thoughts. The first song from the album that many people heard was My Future. This was a song about being hopeful and excited about the future. It had a different sound compared to her earlier music. It was slower and more like a ballad. Many fans loved it. It was different, but in a good way. Then she released Therefore I Am, which was a much more upbeat song. This song was a hit with younger fans, and it was all over the radio and the internet. Another important song was the album's title track, Happier Than Ever. The song starts quietly but ends with a very powerful and emotional sound. It showed how Billie could express very strong feelings with her voice. The album showed a lot of different musical styles. It wasn't just one type of music. Happier Than Ever was another success for Billie. It was a #1 album in many countries, including the United States. Many critics wrote good things about it. They said that Billie was a very talented songwriter and singer. They also said that she was not afraid to be different and to make music that was her own style. The album had a lot of different songs. Some songs were very quiet and gentle, while others were loud and full of energy. Billie worked with her brother Phineas on this album, and it was clear they work well together as a team. They continue to write and make music together, which is one of the reasons why her music is so popular. This album is about change and growth. It shows her maturing as an artist. She writes about her life, but she also wrote about things that are relatable to many young people. The album showed that she was not going to stay the same. She would grow and change as a person and artist. This is one thing her fans really respect about her. They know she is always true to herself. After the album's release, Billie continued to tour around the world. She was playing in big stadiums and arenas to many fans. Her live shows are very popular because they have a great atmosphere and amazing staging. She performs in a powerful and energetic way which makes the fans love her shows. Her fans loved to hear the new songs live. They sang and danced along with Billie at every concert. Billie also continued to make other kinds of music during this period. She collaborated with other artists for a number of projects. This showed her musical versatility and her ability to do different styles of music. It also showed her willingness to work with and support other musicians. The success of Happier Than Ever helped to make sure Billie remained a really big star in pop music. It showed her talent as an artist who keeps changing and who always seems to be on top of what's popular with younger listeners. She kept doing what she loves, making music that speaks to her fans. Her second album was another great achievement, and it showed that she was not just a one-hit wonder. She was a true artist with a long and successful future in the music industry. Her fan base was growing rapidly, and everyone was excited to see what she would do next. She has changed over time, and it's clear that she has no intention to slow down. Chapter 8: Musical Style and Influences. Billie Eilish is not like other pop stars. Her music is special. It's not just happy and upbeat songs that you hear on the radio all the time. Billie's music is different. It's a mix of many things. She blends pop music with electronic sounds, and some indie styles too. Think of it like mixing different paints together to get a new and interesting color. That's what Billie does with her music. One of the cool things about her sound is how she uses ASMR. ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. It's when you hear soft sounds like whispering or gentle tapping, and it makes you feel relaxed. Billie uses these sounds in some of her songs, which makes them sound very unique and interesting. It's like she is talking right into your ear, sometimes very soft and quiet. She also plays with experimental soundscapes. This means she uses many different sounds and puts them together in new and unusual ways. Sometimes her songs sound very dark and mysterious, and other times they feel more like a dream. It is never boring. Her voice is also special. She doesn't sing in a loud, powerful way all the time. Often her voice is breathy and soft. It's like she's whispering secrets. This whispering style makes her music feel very personal and intimate. It feels like she's sharing her thoughts directly with you. It's a different kind of singing than many other pop stars use. She knows exactly how to use her voice to make us feel different things. Sometimes she is soft and other times she is strong. Billie's songs also have very deep and thoughtful words. Her lyrics are not always about having fun. She often sings about important things, like mental health. She sings about how she feels when she's sad or worried. She also sings about love and loss. She uses her songs to explore these difficult feelings. This makes her music very relatable for many people. Lots of people can connect with the things she sings about because they have felt similar emotions. Billie is very honest in her music. Many musicians have inspired her, and that's helped her to develop her own unique style. One band she likes is the Beatles. They are a very old band, but they did many different kinds of music. You can see that influence in some of Billie's creative choices. She also likes Lana Del Rey. Lana is another musician known for her dark and atmospheric music. She also likes Tyler, the creator who is known for his experimental music. You can hear some of these influences in Billie's music, but she makes her songs her own style. Billie doesn't copy these musicians. Instead, she takes inspiration from them. She uses these inspirations to help her create something completely new. That is what she is very good at doing. She creates something that is very different from others. It is Billie's unique touch that makes her such an important and interesting musician. This ability to be different and to express herself freely is why so many people are drawn to her music. Billie's style is not easy to put into one box. It's a combination of different things, all mixed together to create her amazing music. It is one of the big reasons why she is very successful. She is an artist that is not afraid to be herself, and that makes her music so good. People around the world like her style and music because they know it's very special. Her unique style is what makes Billie Eilish the star she is. She does not fit in, and she is happy that way. She does what feels right for her, and that is why she is so good. Chapter 9. Personal Life and Advocacy. Billie Eilish is not just a singer and songwriter. She's a person with her own life and experiences. Like everyone, she has faced challenges and has things she cares about deeply. It's important to know about these parts of her life because they make her who she is. One of the things Billie has been very open about is her mental health. She has talked about struggling with anxiety and depression. These feelings are something many people experience, but it's not always easy to talk about them. Billie has been brave in sharing her experiences, and this has helped many of her fans feel less alone. She has said in interviews that it took her a long time to feel good about herself. She wants to help others who are going through similar things. By being honest about her own struggles, Billie helps to break down the stigma around mental health. She wants everyone to know that it's okay to ask for help. This is a very important message for young people to hear. Another thing Billie has been open about is her Tourette syndrome. This is a neurological condition that causes tics. Tics are movements or sounds that a person cannot control. Some people have very mild tics, and others have more severe ones. Billie's tics are sometimes visible, and she has spoken about how they can be challenging. However, she doesn't let them define her. She wants people to understand that having Tourette syndrome doesn't make her different from anyone else. She says her tics can get worse if she is stressed or tired. It's a part of her life, and she has learned to live with it. Billie encourages her fans to accept themselves, even with things they find difficult. Beyond mental health, Billie is also a strong advocate for other important causes. She is a vegan, which means she doesn't eat any animal products. This is because she cares about animal welfare and the environment. She has spoken about the problems with factory farming and how it hurts animals. Eating a vegan diet is one way Billie feels she can make a positive impact on the world. Many people are becoming vegan, so she is part of an important trend in our world today. Billie is also very passionate about the environment. She has used her platform to talk about climate change and the need to protect our planet. When she goes on tour, she tries to be as sustainable as possible. This means using less plastic, saving energy, and reducing waste. She has also created merchandise that is eco-friendly. Billie wants her fans to think about how their choices affect the environment. She believes it is our responsibility to take care of the earth, and she leads by example. She wants to show that being environmentally conscious is not difficult. It simply requires a little thought and effort. Billie also does not talk a lot about her love life. She has said she likes to keep her personal relationships private. She feels that some things are just for her, her friends and family, and she doesn't need to share them with the world. Many celebrities like to share a lot online, but Billie is not like this. She wants people to focus on her music and her messages. She says that her work is her way of communicating her true feelings and thoughts, and she doesn't need to also share other personal information. Some people say she is mysterious, but this is mostly because she is so private. In summary, Billie Eilish is not just a talented artist. She is also a compassionate and thoughtful person. Her openness about her struggles and her advocacy for important causes make her a role model for many people. She shows us that it's okay to be ourselves, to fight for what we believe in, and to never be afraid to speak our minds. Billie Eilish is a great example of how someone can use their platform to create positive change. She is an inspiration to people all over the world and teaches us many things through her actions and words. Chapter 10: Future and Legacy. Billie Eilish is a very talented young artist. She has done many amazing things in her career, and her future looks very bright. Many people are excited to see what she will do next. Billie is always working on new music. In May of 2024, she released her third album called Hit Me Hard and Soft. This album is different from her other ones. It shows how she is growing as an artist. The songs have a mix of loud and soft sounds, and the lyrics are very personal. She wrote and produced this album with her brother, Phineas, like she has done with her past projects. Some people describe the album as alt-pop and bedroom pop. The album was a big success, reaching the top of the charts in many countries. It was praised for its production, songwriting, and vocals. Fans and critics loved how it was both a cohesive collection and diverse in sounds. Beyond her albums, Billie is always trying new things. She likes to work with other artists. She has said that hip-hop is her favorite genre, but she enjoys many types of music. We might see her in different kinds of projects in the future, maybe even in movies. She also keeps her fans guessing about new songs and projects through social media. She announced some of her past projects there, so it is exciting to see what she will announce next. Billie's influence on music is very strong. She has changed what people think pop music can be. She mixes different styles like pop, electronic, and indie, creating something unique. Her voice is special, sometimes breathy and whispering, and her lyrics are honest. She sings about her own feelings and experiences, including mental health, love, and loss. She is an inspiration for many young people because she is real and not afraid to be herself. She encourages them to be authentic, too. She is part of Gen Z, and her style and ethics influence them as well. She isn't afraid to break the rules and do things her way. Billie Eilish is also a role model in other ways. She is very vocal about important issues. She speaks about her own mental health struggles and encourages others to talk about their own. She is a vegan and cares a lot about the environment. She tries to make her tours and merchandise as eco-friendly as possible. For example, she uses plant-based food options and allows reusable water bottles at her concerts. She also partners with organizations to connect her fans with local environmental groups. She is even helping to open vegan restaurants and advocating for plant-based diets for ethical and health benefits. In 2024, Billie won her second Oscar for the song "What Was I Made For" from the movie Barbie. This is a huge accomplishment, and it makes her the youngest person to ever win 2 Oscars. She won her first Oscar for No Time to Die in 2022, making her the first American songwriter to win for a James Bond theme song. She is now the youngest person to have 2 career Oscars, beating a record that was set many years ago. This shows how talented she is and how much people appreciate her work. Billie's impact is not just about her music. She is also a voice for many things such as mental health, women's rights, and climate change. She uses her platform to inspire people to make a positive change in the world. She shows that it's okay to be different and to stand up for what you believe in. She is a big influence on plant-based living and is working to end animal agriculture. She has made significant contributions as a Met Gala co-chair, ensuring the event had only vegan meals for the first time. Billie Eilish's legacy is just beginning. She is a groundbreaking artist who is changing the music industry and pop culture. She has shown that you can be successful by being yourself and taking risks. She inspires many artists and fans. She is definitely someone who is going to be remembered for a long time. Her journey is a powerful reminder that it's okay to be vulnerable, to be unique, and to use your voice for positive change. We will be seeing and hearing great things from her in the years to come, and it will be exciting to watch her evolve as an artist.